What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Underbuilt Garage, and if you're new here, welcome. Hit subscribe, maybe you like what we got going on. But this is my 59 Pontiac Catalina. I've been slowly getting it back going, getting it on the road. Last video, we put the motor in it. And on this video, this week, hopefully, I can get the floors done. This car has been sitting for roughly 40 years, and we're just trying to get her back on the road. It is getting air ride and a small block Chevy. So I'll show you what I got going on in the floors. The driver's side is pretty much gone. This one's in rough shape as well, same as over here. This is one of the new panels that I ordered. Unfortunately though, they do not make patch panels for Pontiac that I can find. So what I had to do is I ordered panels for a 59 Impala. We're gonna have to cut them up, make them work. If you look over here, the floor on an Impala has more of a curve here. That's why there's a big gap in the back of that. So the plan is to cut this one up, to add to this one and make it work. Same on the front, cut this one up, make that one work. We're gonna do what we gotta do to make it fit and get this thing back on the road. We're trying to make Power Tour, which is in, I think, 2 months, maybe 3. We got a lot of work ahead of us, so like I said, hit that subscribe button. Follow along. Maybe you like what we got going on. So without any further ado, I'm gonna unbox the other ones, get them in here, and we're just gonna start cutting stuff, welding stuff, doing what we gotta do. So I'll be right back. Alrighty, so I'm not too sure yet on how to attack this. Like I said, these are not made for this car. So we're gonna have to do some cutting, bending, yada yada yada. As you can see, I pushed it down here and already bent this up. But the majority of what we have to fix, quiet, is from here back. Like, this is all still good up through here. So probably gonna do some figuring, some measuring on that one, and probably just cut this out here and only up to where the rust stops, because it's good metal up here. Like I said, I got no clue what I'm doing, or how I'm gonna do it, I should say. So it's gonna be figure it out as we go. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, I guess. Oh hey, there's that swivel I've been looking for. Alright, I'm just gonna grab the grinder, cut out the worst of it, and then we'll try to get that fitting closer, and then we'll start trimming this up farther and farther to start fitting this in and go from there. So I'm gonna go get the grinder, probably just throw you guys on a time lapse real quick and figure out how I'm gonna attack this. So let's get on that. Alright, so what I think, this is looking actually pretty decent. There's still a big gap here, but what I think is going to have to happen is I'll probably trim out this side to match, and probably down here, and go ahead and I'll do 3 sides. Do the 2 sides and up here because they're the closest, and then the back here I'm probably just going to push it down. I'll cut a little bit, weld it, get it tacked, push it down, cut it, tack it, push it down, cut it, tack it, just to get it close to where it needs to be, because like I said, these are not made for this car. So we got to make them work. But this is all good metal. We're up into good metal all the way around, so that's where we need to be. And then yeah, I'm just gonna keep on plugging away at this. Hopefully I didn't cut it too short here, but time will tell. I guess I could cheat it back a little bit to start with. That way I know I got enough. But yeah, it's just trim a little, push it down, tack it, keep moving on. So just gonna keep after that. We'll see where we end up. Alright guys, like you just seen, I've just been going around and slowly trimming here, push it down, tack it. You know how it goes. But anyways, we do have an issue back here. We're going to have a gap, but what I think I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to crawl under the car, and this piece here, I'm going to try to push it out to the panel. Because if I push this down, yeah, there's going to be a gap in it. So if that's the only problem we run into, we're doing great. But I'm going to try to get underneath there, pound that out, hopefully bring it a little closer. That way I don't have to make a little sliver. I have extra the metal that I cut off the front of this that I can make it out of, but if I don't have to, I'd rather not. But so far, that's the only issue. It's actually going way better than I thought it was going to. So I'm going to climb underneath this thing, knock that in, see how it goes. And sorry about the sound for the welder, I forgot to shut it off, but that's the next move. Just figured I'd let you guys know. Okay, sorry about the noise of the welder if you guys can hear it, but I figured this would be easier to show you guys. It's something I'm about to try out. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'm still trying to get this gap closed. What I'm going to try to do is take this piece of rebar here, take the old welder, we'll hold it here, give it a tack on the bottom, maybe. Get a decent one on there. And then we're just going to push back on this. First, we're going to weld it better. Don't worry about the tack, we can grind it off later. And then we're just going to push the floor like that out to the metal. And then I'm just going to do this all the way across. We'll get it tacked to it, and then I'll go back through and cut the line. That way it's good to go. And Kyle ain't gonna be sneaking in on me like that. He scared the water out of me. So I just keep doing this all the way across, and it's gonna work. Easy as that. Alright, so I got the all the welding knocked out on this side. It actually went pretty well. The front is not going to be so easy, but at least this side's knocked out. Like I said, we don't have to do that side, so I'm going to climb over there and see what we can get into over there. Here's all the old stuff. I got the perimeter out, so it's butt welded in there. I still need to go get some seam sealer. We'll smear that on that weld, keep the water from coming back in. But let's hop over there and see what we can get into on that side. Alright, so this side, way worse than over there. We're going to have to take out the floor vent I might just go ahead and cut this off here and just remove this section because the bolts don't look like they're going to come out, and I'm not going to be using this, so we're just going to get the defrost hooked up. That way we can defog the windows. But also there is a plate up here that unbolts. It's pretty rough shape as well. I might just go ahead and cut the bottom half of this off where it's bad, and we'll just run the new floor up to that. The hole don't need to be that big, so we're not too worried about that. There is a floor brace under here that I'm gonna have to work with, but it shouldn't be too bad to work around. So yeah, I'm just gonna do like we did over there. I'm gonna cut this down and then cut out the bad, start patching it back together. Probably gonna have to cut up some other stuff and make it work because that panel doesn't go up the firewall at all, or the toe board. So I'm just gonna get a grinder out and start hacking away. Okay, so I figured I'd show you guys what I had going on. This side here, if we get this to slide up just a little bit, this corner does match up. I'm probably going to start in this corner and then work my way over. It still needs some final adjustments, but it's fitting decent. The biggest issue we're going to have is here. They're just different shapes, so I'm going to have to cut a piece to fit in here, which is no big deal. Still a little different over here, but I'll just push this down and then get it close, cut around it, that way the old stuff falls out, and we'll just work all the way around. And like I was saying about this plate under the steering column, after I get it trimmed where I want, I'll unbolt this and then take this piece here and I'll lay it on a flat sheet of steel, trace it out, and just cut out a new one. And then it can go right back up in there, and we'll put the bolts right back in it, and it'll be like nothing ever happened. So I'm just gonna keep on trimming a little, tack a little, trim a little, tack a little, and it'll be in there here soon. Alright, I figured I'd stop and show you the progress I've made and what it's looking like. We've got the back. It's actually looking really good. We still got this hole here, which, like I said, I'll make a little plate for that. Got a little carried away with the grinder here. So we've got half of this side, the back, half of this side. I just need to run the grinder up through here and then across the front and down that little bit over there. It's just more of the same. I ended up putting a little slice in it here. That way this could bend up a little farther. I might have to do it over here as well, just to get it to go down, because there's a decent little gap over here between this and the original floor, which, no big deal. Just keep on slowly working it down, get it lined up, and weld it in. So, just gonna keep working at that. Alright, so I got everything welded all the way around as far as I could. I went ahead and took out the, I don't even know what you would call this panel here. Anyways, that's out. Everything's welded, what I can get. I still have this hole here that's left. So I took a piece of paper, traced it out, just held it up behind there, and then traced it on a piece of metal, cut that out. So this piece here fits in here pretty good. Just gonna weld that in there, and then this will be completely done. I still need to trace this out, and we'll cut that out. After I get this welded in, it's on to the last little bit of floor fixing on the other side, which it's just this upper corner here. What I think I'm gonna do is use there's the panel I took out. Anyways, is use maybe this corner of the floor patch that was actually for this side, since it has the nice curve in it. I think it'll be a lot easier than trying to make the floor fit, because this side was quite the pain to get this all lined up, and that side has more of a corner like the back of the floor does over there. So that's the plan for that side. So I'm just gonna get this welded in here, and we'll jump over on the other side. Alright, so we're over here on the other side now, and I think I've decided it's a little worse than I thought. And I know I said I was going to use the back one, but if I put it in here, these floor ribs are going this way, and if I use the back one, they'll be going this way, and this is already bothering me, so I'm just going to go ahead and make this one fit in here. It's going to be the same as the other side. I'm going to trim this off because we're not going to use it. Cut out the old, fit in the new, weld it up. So I don't know how much of this I'm going to make you guys sit through. You just watch me do that side. Maybe I'll come back after this side's in and I'm making that plate over there. So I guess you'll know first. You'll see what's next. Alright, so I got this one about 90% in here, and you might be asking why there's a garden hose hanging behind me. I just found out how flammable 67-year-old insulation is. It was all the way up in here behind the heater core box, was all like smoldering, and it was just running out the defrost vents and everything else. Yeah, so I guess be careful when you're working on old stuff, and I probably should have done a better job of cleaning this out, because this stuff is just everywhere, but you live and you learn. But anyways, a little update for you guys. This is 90% in. I just got this corner to work out here, and then it's just welded all in. And then I'm gonna have to go and pick up some seam sealer and some of that rust converter. I want to spray the entire floor in here with the rust converter, the rest of it that I didn't replace. Then we're gonna seam seal all these welds, and I'm not sure if I want to undercoat this one or not. I had some people comment on the last one and say that the undercoating that I used holds moisture, so maybe we'll just paint it instead. But regardless, I'm gonna get back to it. I just got this one corner to fix and just weld it out. So I'll be back with you guys if anything else exciting happens. Okay, this is all welded in. It's all fit where it needs to fit. We did have one more fire up underneath here. That's why that's ripped up off the floor. But other than that, it was worry-free. So, all right. Like I said, I got to go pick up some seam sealer tomorrow. It's like 9:30 now, and I'm gonna have to stay out here and wait for another hour at least to make sure nothing else is on fire or still in there smoldering. So I'll be back tomorrow with some seam sealer and some paint. And before all that, we get to wire wheel the entire floor in this thing. So it's going to get a little dusty, a little messy, but we'll get her knocked out. So see you in a minute tomorrow. Alright, I'm back out here. It's the next day. I think to start things off, I'm going to get this thing cleaned out. And then we got to wire wheel everything that's rusty. And then we're going to get to spraying that rust converter on there. So I'm going to get to cleaning this thing out. We'll get the shop back out. I'm going to sweep it out first. And then we're going to make a mess, dusty mess with wire wheeling this thing. So hang out for that. Okay, so we got her cleaned out about as good as we can. There's one more spot here that I want to patch up real quick, but other than that, I'm gonna say that these are all ready for seam sealer, and we'll get on that next. Alright, so we got our seam sealer, and just gonna smooth it on here and smear it out just like on the Camaro. Do this to if there's any pinholes or whatever, it'll keep it from leaking back in the car again. That way we don't have the same issue. A little much right there. Alright, let's smear that out a little. I don't know if there's a right way to do this, but this is how I do it. It's working on a Camaro so far, so we'll just keep doing it till it doesn't work. Put a little more on. Hopefully this one tube will make it the whole car, because that's all the parts store had. Probably not. Alright. Pretty easy, guys. I'm gonna get this knocked out. I'm not gonna make you guys watch it all. I'll get this knocked out. And then we'll get on to spraying that rust converter. So I'll be right back. Alright, so I got all the seam sealer and all the welds and everything all the way around all the other ones. And there was a couple pinholes that I filled in over there. It wasn't worth fixing, so I just went ahead and slopped her full. I'm going to give this just a little bit to dry, and then we're going to come and hit the entire floor, well, the rusty part of the floor, with that rust converter. We'll let that dry, and then I've got some black paint. I think I'm just going to paint it black. I don't want to take the chance of using that undercoating, because like I said, a couple people commented about the Camaro and said that the stuff I used would hold moisture, so hopefully that thing will be alright. But I'm going to give us a bit to dry, and then we'll get to spraying it with that rust converter. Okay, this stuff has had plenty of time to dry, and it's all looking good. I checked over it, made sure there was no holes in anything or anything. So this here, we're just going to cover the entire floor in this stuff. So pretty self-explanatory. This stuff like eats the rust. When we come back, once this is dry, it actually turns the rust black like that. So supposedly it stops it. I put it in a Camaro, and we're going to put it in this too. So I'm just going to spray the entire floor in this thing, and then we're going to paint it, and she's going to look brand new. So alright, I'm going to keep on doing this. I need to put a mask on, that way I don't asphyxiate myself, or however you say that word. But yeah, I'm just going to do this real quick, and I'll be back when we're ready to paint it. Okay, so this is what it looks like after it's all painted. You can tell that this here is already starting to turn black. This is where I started. So all the rust should turn black, and it should kill it. So we're going to let this dry, and then we'll be back with the paint. Alright, so that stuff stinks really bad, but the shop needed cleaned anyway, so I just pushed the car outside, and this is all the stuff that come off and from inside the car. But anyways, while that's outside, airing out, drying or whatever, I still need to make this, the plate that goes around the bottom of the steering column. So what I think I'm going to do is, this one rib right here is where the speedometer cable drops down through. So instead of replacing all of it, I think I'm going to do this right here. From here, this where the new metal is, if you just make a line across there, from there down, I'm going to replace, because from there up, I know you can see the light through it, from here up it's still good, and that will save me from having to make a channel for the speedometer cable to drop through. So I'm just going to lay this on here, trace it out, and then I'll cut this thing off the same spot, then we'll just weld it on. It'll have some ribs on there, so that'll help. And yeah, that is how I'm gonna make that. I might set up a time lapse so you guys can watch me make that. But as soon as that thing's dry, we're gonna pull it back in here and paint the floor, or I might just do it out there so it can off gas outside. So I'm gonna get this knocked out real quick, and then we'll get back on that. Alright, so that is gonna work just fine. It ain't the prettiest, but it's better than a hole in the floor. Okay, this thing out here is pretty much dry, so don't mind Carl's junk Ford parts laying around. Anyways, I got a couple cans here, leftover satin black Rust-Oleum, so we're just gonna hop in this thing and start painting. See how far we can get with what I got, but the goal is to just get it all covered. So I'm gonna knock this thing out, and then I'll be back with you guys once I'm done. Alright guys, got this thing back in here, and the floors look great. There's 2 coats on there, but unfortunately I'm out of time for this week. This here is that panel. I went ahead and got it painted, but it's still tacky. The floors are still tacky. For that thing, I'm just gonna slide it back up in there and just run some self-tappers around it, and that'll be that piece solved. I get in there and do it now, but like I said, the floors are still tacky from being painted on. But like I was saying, that's all I got time for this week. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe if you're new here. And as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.